isn't much going on in tiny Van Horn, Texas. That is until 1987, when one of the world's most famous football coaches was seemingly blown in here by the wild West Texas wind. After that, the celebrities began to follow. We'll show you how this quirky little community paid tribute to the man who put them on the map. Nestled in between Odessa and El Paso on I-10 is the town of Van Horn, whose lights can be seen for miles, surrounded by glass mountains and hundreds of miles of desert. Right on the main drag lies the little oasis, Chuy's, a Tex-Mex restaurant opened in 1959 by Jesus Chuy Uranga, a full 23 years before the chain of the same name opened in Austin, and has been an institution ever since.
It's a staple to the community because a lot of people that are there still and no longer there and grew up there, a lot of those people worked there. That was their first job that they got.
Uranga could never have predicted that one Monday night in 1987, the famous Madden Cruiser, a tour bus used by former Super Bowl winning head coach turned CBS broadcaster John Madden to travel the country combating his fear of flying, would pull up in his parking lot. Desperate to watch Monday Night Football, Madden had just faced what he would consider a major issue. He lost reception.
It was before satellite TV. And he said, well, there's a place up there, some lights. He told us to start a pull over. So he said, hey, there's a place that has TV room.
Chuy himself couldn't quite believe it.
And my dad said he couldn't believe it. That he goes, is that who I think it is, And my dad asked him, are you John Madden? He said, yes, I am.
Madden loved the food and the atmosphere, and when his dad asked him to pick up a newspaper in El Paso where the story would be, Paul Uranga couldn't believe it either.
I drive up and, it's up there in the front. I'll El Paso Times, and it's on the front page and the headlines. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think it was going to be up at the front.
After 1987, Madden would visit Chuy's at least once, more likely twice a year, so Jesus had to make him feel at home, giving him his own table and chair with his name on it. Just like when he was broadcasting those games at Texas Stadium or Lambeau Field, John Madden's seat here at Chuy's, it's the best in the house.
He would sit down and somebody would come talk to him and he would say, hey, pull up a seat, let's talk.
After a few years of Madden coming in, the employees began to figure out for themselves when he would stop by.
We kind of figure it out because we know that he would be broadcasting, let's say, like in Dallas, let's say. And then his next game was going to be in Phoenix, let's say. It was like, okay, the game was at 3 o'clock or whatever. He's driving, or he'll be here at a certain time.
The legendary coach never forgot about the place or the family, as was evident after Jesus died in a car crash in 2010, and Madden called Uranga's widow to give his condolences. And just as the family embraced Madden, he embraced them right back.
I mean, to me, that means that he held us like somebody that like family, and he cared.
So the next time you're driving down I-10 and you need to stop to get a bite to eat, or there's a game you can't miss, I'd take the Hall of Famers' recommendations, because you'll never know who you'll bump into. Reporting in Van Horn, I'm Cameron Stewart, ABC Big 2.